All right, guys, I got a countdown of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It says we're live. So as of right now, you guys can go to howtoincreaseyourcashflow.com. That's howtoincreaseyourcashflow.com. And we are ready to lock and load. I'm pulling up your wealth worksheet for tonight. You guys are going to love this. I promise you. It's, again, if you're brand new, we're teaching the rules of the wealthy. These are things that people just never really learned in schools. And we pull the curtain back as usual. We show everybody exactly how this works. We don't care because we believe that you're worth way more than you're getting right now. I know I did when I was in school and I didn't have a dime. And I'm telling you, man, to be able to be in a position now where I earn 5 figures a month, working from home, it's been nothing short of a miracle. To be in a position now where I'm earning $45,000 a month, starting next month, right? $500,000 a year, just because I took some time and invested in myself. And I'm gonna show you guys how I did that. Tonight's cash flow class, this is number 5. Tonight's class is really, really, really going to give you guys an indication as to the sky being the limit as far as your finances are concerned. So when I tell you guys the best investment in the world you can make is in yourself, the best investment in the world you can make is in yourself. And I'm gonna prove that to you financially, right? It's not an emotional thing. It's not even my opinion. It's a fact that the best investment you can make is in yourself. Give me a thumbs up if you already believe that, right? If you know that, good. So for those of you who are brand new, let me give you a recap. You can go ahead and start your watch parties because I'm about to start mine as well. And let me get a few people some time to get in here, make sure they got the right password. So this is what's been happening. For the past 4 days, we've been doing these cash flow classes, and we're calling this particular campaign Back to School, right? For adults, every now and then, we got to brush ourselves off and make sure we go back to school and get some better understanding on how money works. Make sure we're making all the right decisions. Make sure that we're surrounding ourselves with experts and people who know about money. After I lost my first $1 million in my 20s, I vowed that that would not happen again. I wasn't even frivolous. I just got audited. Nobody taught me taxes. Nobody taught me about debt. Nobody taught me that every dollar you make is supposed to bring 10. You know, you keep 3, reinvest 7, make 21, you know, keep 9, you know, and reinvest the difference. Nobody taught me these things. So I lost my first $1 million in my 20s. And I said, man, God, if you just give me a second chance, I promise you, I will be the biggest evangelist for economic empowerment that you have ever seen. So I found this vehicle, Making Wealth Real Financial. And it was in a perfect alignment with what I believe, which is if you shift your mindset first, you can shift your income second. But I want you guys to know everything actually starts with the mind, right? Everything begins up here. If you shift your mindset and you know for a fact that your income is a direct reflection of the way you think, then what you first have to do is change the way you think. And some of the things we've been taught about money just flat out aren't true. So let's see, we started our campaign on Sunday night. Sunday night, we talked about, what was it? The number one asset. The number one asset you can own in this country is a home-based business, because the way the tax laws are set up, if you don't have a home-based business, you might as well take 20 bucks a day and just throw it out the window. Can you guys believe that? You're wasting by not having a home-based business, right? You don't have to own a home. You can be in an apartment, but by not having a 1099 in your name, which is the tax code for a business, without having that, you're wasting 600 bucks a month. Now, when you realize that the schools never taught you to open a home-based business, they never taught you that you can write off a percentage of your square footage. They never taught you that some of the gasoline in your car is tax deductible. They never taught you that when you eat out, if you conducted some business, you can keep the receipt. They never taught you that your internet bill and cell phone bill, which we all have, is tax deductible. If you have a 1099, then you wonder why you get a job and your taxes are sky high. Raise your hand if you believe that they take a third of your check if you got a job, right? You know that. So if you know that, why don't more people do something about it? Easy. They don't know they can. It's a lack of education. So we talked about the number one asset you can own Sunday is a home-based business. My good friend Bert Sims joined me on that one and broke it down and showed you how the same business we're in can bring you an extra $6,000 a year, and you would need $600,000 in the bank to make what we make using a strategy. Really simple. The next day, we did the banker secret. That was on Monday night. How do you become the bank, right? The bank gives you 1% and they go and make 15, 12, 20%, and then give you 1%. And we say, thank you for a checking account. No, how do they make $640,000 off your money, off $10,000? They make $640,000 and you make $40,000 off your $10,000. So how does the bank make a $600,000 difference? Easy. They are the bank. In Making Wealth Real Financial, we teach you how to become the bank. Put that in the comments, man. Let's go ahead and start affirming some of this stuff. I am the bank. You need to know that. You need to become the bank. Banks get wealthy off the ignorance of other people. The minute you just, the minute you decide that you're going to become the bank, you start getting wealthy because you're doing what the bankers do. Do me a big favor, man. We're about to crank this thing up, the final one of the night. Text CFC 5. That stands for Cash Flow Class number 5, CFC 5. Now, the person whose watch party you're watching right now, if you're brand new watching us, you want to inbox that person and say, I'm watching CFC 5. That means Cash Flow Class number 5. We're going to pick up our phone and check our inbox afterwards and see who all hit us so we can get you to take advantage of our membership and get all the savings and knowledge and education and experts and everything that we give you with our membership. But you got to let us know you're watching. So again, don't do it here in the comments, guys. That doesn't help us. You want to inbox the person whose watch party you're watching. You want to text the person who told you to get on this thing and say, I'm watching Cash Flow Class 5, CFC 5. So then let's see, Tuesday, we broke down the stop leaving money on the table. We talked about how the government will let you get your money up front. And I proved to you from the IRS letter they wrote in 2018, going on 3 years ago, they wrote a letter and said, listen, a lot of you guys are getting tax refunds. This is the IRS now. And they said, most of y'all really might want to get your money up front. So if you get your money up front and didn't wait till you get a tax refund, then guess what? You can get out of debt a lot faster. If you get out of debt a lot faster and you join in and you're getting your money back by joining a home-based business like MWR, then guess what? You can start investing faster. See, people don't understand this, but your taxes actually cause debt. So Tuesday night, we talked about how getting your taxes down, income shifting that back to you, then using those tax dollars to attack your debt. Now the banks and the government both are out of your pocket. People miss that, guys. A lot of you are trying to budget your way to wealth. You want to check your cell phone bill. You want to lower your internet bill. You trying to stop eating out. You comparing Chevron to Shell. That's great, but that's called budgeting. You've been taught to budget your way to wealth. It doesn't work. Budgeting is noble. Budgeting is honorable, but budgeting doesn't make you wealthy. What makes you wealthy is income shifting the taxes back to you and using that government money to pay off your debt, bringing that interest back to you and using that debt to start investing. So instead of investing in Visa and MasterCard and Discover and the car note and the mortgage and the student loans, you invest in your home-based business and become them. That was Tuesday night. Last night, we talked about the bloody mess, how a $5,000 credit card can end up costing you $11,000 total. The $5,000 you borrowed and $6,000 on top of the $5,000 you borrowed. That's called arbitrage. Anytime the bank takes your money and lends your money, the interest you gave them for free makes somebody else wealthy. Woo, when you understand that, then here you come trying to get a loan and they tell you no. But they've been lending your interest to other people's car notes. Banks lend your interest to other people's student loans. Banks lend your interest to other people's mortgage. Yeah. So guess what? Somebody said, this is my first time here. I need a replay. You are in luck. Do you know that we record everything? That's the power of the extra digit movement. We use technology. So guess where you can see all the replays? howtoincreaseyourcashflow.com. That's our Facebook fan page. So when you go to our fan page, just go back for yesterday, the day before, the day before, and the day before, and you'll have all 5 of the courses. All right. So, did I give you the website? howtoincreaseyourcashflow.com. Oh, let me give you, because I meant to do this yesterday. I'm glad somebody put that in the notes just now. Let me see if I have the link for the form tonight. While I do that, let me make sure I give you guys the announcement. We're having our virtual party for our newly promoted area directors. When? Saturday at 7 o'clock. This is the exact domain that you're on right now, but I'm not giving you the password just yet. All right, I can't give you the password just yet because I don't know it yet, but there will be a password and you guys will be good to go. I just got the bit.ly link. Thank you so much, Ms. Rollins. And 7 o'clock, we're gonna celebrate. If you're an area director and you just got promoted, I want you guys to come join us this Saturday. And I want all you new people that are watching, these guys are getting the car bonuses, they're getting the presidential bonuses, they're getting minimum, a lot of minimum 2,000 a month, a lot of them a lot more. And I want all my area directors, please bring at least one family member to your party this coming Saturday. Everybody's welcome. The password will be issued to the different groups in extra digit. Everybody's welcome Saturday. And we're gonna have more than water in front of this computer. So I'm pulling up the link for you guys so you guys can follow me on this sheet of paper. It's gonna take me literally 2 seconds. I just emailed it to myself. Here it is. I'm gonna put this in the chat and let's talk about tonight's topic. Is called the power of infinite returns. Here you go. Look in the chat, copy this link. Cash flow class number 5. The power of infinite returns. Let's have some fun tonight. I bet y'all didn't know money could be this fun. We love it, we love it, we love it. We talk about it all the time, and that's why we make plenty of it. There's the link in the website, cash flow class number 5. Let me pull it up, let's go. So here's the main thing that we focus on with this sheet. The most powerful thing about this sheet is that it puts you in a position where you can see what happened with other billionaires and famous people that you know. Now, the reason this is important is because when you understand that the number one thing you can invest in is yourself, you would never quit your own business. The link is in the chat. The number one thing you can invest in is yourself. You'll never quit your own business. So let me show you how this works. Sam Walton of Walmart fame, Sam's Club, the Walton family. Sam Walton took $25,000. If you take the $25,000 that you put into a business and you divide it by the, to get your rate of return on that business, you take the total return on the investment and divide it by the initial investment. So right now, he's worth about $205 billion, right? Well, you take the initial investment, $25,000, and that's an $8 million return, 8.2 million. Well, that's the entire estate. Now, if you do it by year or annually, you now have to take how many years it took for him to get to this net worth. It took about 56 years. That's 146,000% return on your money. So $25,000 brought 146,000% return on your money. That's the Walton family. Now, where you guys are going to mess up with this sheet is that you're going to think it's skewed because most of us never believe that we can get 100,000%, that we can get 10,000%. We've been trained to think if you get 10%, you lucky. We've been trained to think, oh my goodness, if you get a municipal bond and it's 4%, you are lucky. That's better than 1%. Well, what are you comparing it to? You comparing it to a savings account that's less than inflation? You comparing it to a checking account that gives you -1% on a good day? So when you hear 10%, we celebrate. 20% we celebrate. Wealth is created with 4, 5, and 6 figure returns. The only way to get a 4, 5, and 6 figure return is you investing in you. If you want to live like the wealthy, you have to do what wealthy people do. They invest in private business. That's why Making Wealth Real is so powerful, because you're investing in private business. I took $228, guys, and next month I will make $45,000. It's the start of my $45,000 a month. I started my business in November of 2019. In 8 months, I will have cleared $500,000. If I'm not careful, I'll hit $1 million my first year in business. Between $500,000 and $1 million, my first year in business. I haven't done it yet, but if I do this same formula and calculate, okay, Brian invested $228. Somebody can do it. Somebody can do it while I'm on the phone, because I haven't done it yet. I take my initial investment, $228. Let's say I make $1 million by the end of the year. It took me 1 year to do it. What is the rate of return on that? Now watch this. The annual rate of return is when you take how long it took you to do it, right? And divide it by the total rate of return. That's how much you made annually. So that's for the Waltons, that's 146,000. Now let's fly through this. Now that you know the formula, Bob Johnson started BET. He at one point owned the Bobcats, who are now the Charlotte Hornets again. So he sold the Charlotte Hornets to Michael Jordan, and he's for the Bobcats to Michael Jordan, the Charlotte Hornets. And now he sold BET to Viacom for $2 billion. Well, he bought the license back in the day when hip hop wasn't famous, and when cable licenses were being issued for pennies on the dollar. He paid $15,000. So you take the 15,000, you divide it, right, by the 2 billion, that's 133,000% return. It took him 40 years to do it. BET was around about 40 years before he sold it to Viacom. He built his business. That's a 3,300% return on his $15,000. Every year he earned 3,300%. Raise your hand if you now believe in private business. Raise your hand if you now believe investing in yourself is important, okay? So you guys got to get this. You got to get this. You were taught that anytime you invest in yourself, be skeptical. You were taught that anytime you invest in yourself, be wary, do a ton of research. You were taught that anytime it comes to you, you might not make it. You might quit. That's why your family and friends don't support you. They're watching to see if you're going to give up. Now tell me now, with my $228, and I clear between $500,000 and $1 million, guaranteed, because these are my minimums this year. Tell me if I care what my family member said to me 8 months ago when I started. Thumbs down if you think I don't care, because I do not care. What a skeptic, what a critic, what a naysayer, what a wannabe extra digit movement member says about me. The difference with me and you guys is I knew that if I invested in myself, there's no such thing as a bad investment. You got to know up front that when you invest in yourself, people are going to doubt you because they don't believe, not in you, they don't believe in themselves. So just because you can do it don't mean they can do it. So guess what? They try to pull you back with them. Thumbs up, hands up if you know what I'm talking about, right? So just because what? Just because you can do it, they don't think they can do it. So the only way to prove that you can't do it, so they can feel better about the fact that they're not doing it, is to pull you back with them. No, you can't do that. No, I got to do tons of research. No, my husband ain't supporting it. No, my wife ain't supporting it. How much money have you made yet? It's one of them pyramid things. Oh, how big is your check? And slowly but surely, they try to chip at you because they can't do what you're doing. But see, I knew I was a good investment. I said, what's the worst thing that can happen? I take 228 and lower my taxes. I take 228 and get my credit score up. My credit went from a 727 to a 777. What's the worst thing that can happen? I take 228 and I know my millionaire goal. What's the worst that can happen? I take 228 and enroll agents, look over my past 3 years' taxes and show me how to save some tax dollars. What's the worst that can happen? I take 228 and upload my bills into Bill Shredder and they renegotiate all my bills and save me $228 a month. Worst thing that can happen is I break even on bill shredder alone. Worst thing that can happen is the government put an extra $800 a month back in my pocket because I'm lowering my money, lowering my taxes. But see, what you were taught was money can't be earned with strategy. We're taught that every dollar we make, you have to work for it. Wealthy people are taught that every dollar you make should come from non-wage income. Wealthy people don't brag on how much money they make working. Wealthy people brag on how much money they make not working. Thumbs up if you're ready to have that attitude. That's how we gotta think, people. And when you get that and you watch the bottom half of this sheet, you will never, ever quit your business. Because the worst thing that can happen is you save $500 or $600 a month in taxes. But you know what's funny? You gotta be around long enough to file. Ever thought about that? See, some of y'all, everybody look to the left, look to the right, do like this. Statistically, one of y'all ain't gonna make it. That's just the facts. Now, I don't know if it's gonna be you, or you. But statistically, one of y'all on the right, left, or middle ain't gonna make it. So you gotta decide right now that it ain't gonna be you. But some of you guys are so used to working for every dollar that the problem is you don't even know that had you just stuck around a year and filed your taxes, your taxable income got chopped in half. And guess whose pocket that went in? All that went back in your pocket. But because you couldn't get nobody, and because people told you no, and because I'm an introvert, and because I don't know nobody, and I can't do well in this business, and people won't watch the video, you quit after 2 months, when after 12 months, you'd have saved about 10 grand. Put this in the comments. I need to stick around long enough to see the benefits, okay? I need to stick around long enough to see my benefits. Some of y'all quit before the benefits even kick in. And the benefits is Uncle Sam out of your pocket. But no, you don't want to stick around for that. If you don't get a $500,000, today, your business ain't working. If you ain't making $5,000 by tomorrow, your business not working. No, the business is working because strategies always work. You didn't stick around long enough to see the strategy through. I need to stick around long enough to see my benefits. But I ain't supposed to be training tonight. Let me get out of here. So, watch this. Warren Buffett. We all know Warren Buffett. Who's heard that name before? Raise your hand. We all know old Buffety Buff. Warren Buffett said, I took $100,000 and he's now worth $85 billion. Yeah. Oh, this, by the way, that's like the whole Walton family. That's like the estate and everything. That's not one person. But because you go to like Fortune and Forbes, you'll see Walton, Betty, Walton, Bob, Walton, Sam, Walton, Earl, Walton, Sheila, Walton. Woo! Raise your hand if you're ready for your legacy, your last name to be a legacy. That's right. That's why we're here. So Warren Buffett is worth $85 billion. You take now y'all see the formula. You take the initial investment, make that the denominator, the return on the investment, $85 billion. That's 850,000%. 850,000% on his initial 100,000. It took him 50 years to do it. That's 17,000 per year. But we celebrate, we get 10%. See? Now let me show you something. You guys know by now. Okay, well, we know Oprah. Let me show you what happens. Reed Hastings, just so you know, is the owner of Netflix. Took 2.5 million. Netflix is worth about 19 billion. That's a 7.6% return. He's getting back 362% per year because he's only been in business 21 years. See, what y'all got to remember, as you get older, your percentage grows. You see? In other words, the longer you stay in these percentages, they start to grow. So he's at 362%, but he started with a lot more. See, don't compare Oprah to Sam Walton. Don't compare. Here's where you mess up with this sheet. Don't compare Warren Buffett to Bob Johnson. Don't compare. Look at each individual as their own person, because you got to remember, he started with 2.5 million, where Bob Johnson started with 15,000. So of course the numbers are going to look totally different. You see the difference? Because it all depends on how much you started with. And then of course it took 40 years for Bob Johnson. Reed Hastings, Netflix only been around about 21 years. So don't, on this sheet, don't ever compare them to each other. It's going to mess you up. Just compare the story to itself. Thumbs up if that makes sense. Right? Because you can't calculate all these variables and you're going to be like, wait, how he worth 85 billion? And well, it took him 56 years and he started with less. It took this person 21 years, but they started with more. And your brain can't calculate all that compound interest. Just trust the numbers. So Reed Hastings owns Netflix. Now, Oprah, here's why I put Oprah in here. Everybody knows at some point Oprah had a job. She was a newscaster, I think down in Mississippi, right? A news anchor. So at some point, let's just say for example purposes only, Oprah took $2,000 and invested in something. Harpo, the magazine, the studio, y'all know her rise to fame now. So at some point she took $2,000 and let's say invested in her brand. Well, today she's worth $3 billion. You take the 2,000 divided by 3 billion, or the 3 billion divided by 2,000, that's a 1.5 million% return. She's been in business about 40 years. That's 37,000%. Now you see the pattern. This is how you get your annual rate of return. This is how you get your total rate of return. Here are the formulas. Annual is the total rate of return divided by the number of years. That's your annual rate of return. Now let's look at most Americans. And as I conclude, let's look at why America is the wealthiest country in the world and most Americans struggle. Let's look at why Making Wealth Real Financial is the ` vehicle you can use to what? To get out of this situation. Let's look at how I took the 228 and flipped it into $500,000 to $1 million, because I understood this. Most Americans have zero savings. So most Americans have about $500 in their checking account that they use that's left after they pay their bills, but they can't save it because they really need this for the next month. Most Americans are getting 1% on their money if they're lucky, but they want to live like Warren Buffett. They want to leave a legacy like Sam Walton. They want to do like Reed Hastings. They want to be Oprah Winfrey. They want to be Bob Johnson, but they don't have their money where Bob Johnson has his. They don't have their money where Oprah has hers. Most Americans got their money in checking and savings. Yeah. So if most Americans got their money in checking and savings, how in the world are you going to end up with billion-dollar results when you're doing average American things? So 1%. If you're lucky. And you've been doing that 10, 20 years, so you get 0.1% return on your money. If you're lucky. How in the world will you ever retire wealthy and travel the world and leave a legacy for your children and leave a legacy for your grandchildren and do all the things that we say we want to do? How in the world are we going to do it with that formula at the bottom when most Americans are this right here? Cash flow and checking, no savings, getting 1% and getting 0.01 return on their money over the course of 10, 20 years. Thumbs down if you're sick of it. You got to be sick of it. And see, that's where we come in. We got to wake you up. So here's how you calculate your return on your money. It's simple. You invested 228. If you get 228 back, that's 100% return on your money. You invested 228. If you make $2,000, that's 1,000% return on your money. You invested 228. You see the pattern. If you make $22,000, that's a 10,000% return on their money. Charles Ivory has tripled that. Judith Ivory has tripled that. Chuck Harden has tripled that. These guys are making 30,000% return on their money. Christy Howard she makes over $130,000 a year, over $14,000 a month after 7 months in the business from home. So you tell me, if I invested 228 and back before COVID, I was at $250,000, that was 100,000% return on my money. But I invested 228 and I'll make half of this year. That's about a 500,000% return. Now you up here with the big boys. See, you can't get up there with the big boys until you do what big boys do. But what we want to do is we want to be one of the big boys, but we sitting around here getting this. You can't be a big boy or a big girl and get these rates of returns and get this annually when you sitting around here talking about, how do I, now that 119, what's that for again? Ain't that amazing? You want to be a big boy, but we sitting around here, now, Brian, people talking about the 119 is too much. Too much for what? A business? What are you talking about? They owe Visa 180 a month and they pay that every month. What do you mean 119 is too much? We have to stop watering down our business to make people feel comfortable. These are just the facts. Put this in your notes. Your budget does not hurt my value. Your budget does not hurt my value. If a person don't have a 119, y'all, we pray for them. We show them all the different ways it can get covered by 3 QFDs joining their business. That's 150. It can get covered by our enrolled agents adjusting their W-4 and getting an instant pay raise. It can get covered by them getting 3 customers and 79 of the 119 is waived. So they got a $40 a month business. See what I do, all I can do is educate you and show you that our 228 and 119 is paid for by the government, and the 119 becomes self-funded by 3 different avenues. Everybody want to go to heaven, but don't nobody want to die. Everybody want residual income, but don't nobody want to have no expenses. How in the world are you gonna make $50,000 a month and people not paying 119? So you want the 50 grand a month. You want the $500,000 a year, but then you go, that 119 killing me. You not gonna make it. You don't understand the power of infinite returns. The 119 bringing you 700 a month in savings. Who would trade 119 for 700? You do that all day. But you know why people quit? Because they don't know that the trade happens when they file their taxes in February. That's when the trade happens. But they want the money now because they've never been taught that strategy makes you wealthy, not sales and hustle. So let me say this again before we go. You can't have the big boy mentality and be getting 1% at the bank. You can't have the big girl mentality and be getting 0.01% rate of return for the past 20 years. You can't have a big boy mentality and want residual income, but everybody you talk to, you got to explain why the 119 is not a big deal. Your budget can't hurt our value. The business is the most inexpensive business on the planet, and it pays the biggest margin because it's all digital and we don't have no overhead. The 119, you're gonna need the 119 for your tax write-off anyway. Hold up, how many ways the 119 can get covered? I'll help you. 3. Everybody hold it up. I don't see you. I'm looking at you. I don't see you. I'm looking at you. All right, there you go. All right, Miss Brenda, I was just joking. All right, there you go. I was just playing. So listen, 3 ways to get it covered if it's just killing you. 79 of it is covered when you get 3 customers on the Financial Edge membership. 79 of it is waived. So you got a $40 business. So it don't cover the whole thing with that way, but at least you got $40 you just paying for your back office. 3 customers at $79 on a Financial Edge membership, your 79 is free. The second way to cover it, when you get your W-4 adjusted, your paycheck increases. That covers the 119 because now that you have a home-based business, our enrolled agents adjust your withholdings and your job gives you an instant pay raise. That covers the 119. Who likes when Uncle Sam pay your 119? Third way to cover it. If you have 1 customer on a Financial Edge membership and 3 people sign up for the business, you earning $5 a day. Now we all know at 12 people, you earn $600 a day. That's 12 in your whole team. But the 119 is covered when you get 1 customer on the membership and 3 business partners, that's $5 a day. Last time I checked, 5 times 30 is 150 minimum. Did that cover the 119? So why are we lowering our expectations when people act like that 119 is high? See, don't let other people's thoughts become your own because now you understand the power of infinite returns. who want to make at least a 10,000% return on their money? Guys, that's $28,000 by the end of this year. Some of you guys can turn 228 into 28,000 by the end of this year. And you can tell all your friends, I made a 10,000% return on my home-based business. Why you keep asking me how much my check is? See, when people ask you how much money you're making, that's how you know they don't understand money. Wealthy people say, what's the return on your investment? Yeah. See, when people ask you how much money you're making, that's how you know they ain't got no money. Because it ain't about how much money you're making. It's about what you put in and what that business is bringing back over time. So next time somebody asks you that, you say, oh man, you should take one of our courses, because you're asking about money. What you should be asking about is ROI. And when you look that person in the eye and say, 10,000%, look, they don't even know how to calculate, ain't no way you make, you don't even know how to calculate ROI. So you see, now we're having two different conversations. You want to know about paychecks and commissions. I want to tell you about ROI. What's the annual rate of return? Let me ask you a question. What's the annual rate of return on your checking account? I'm getting 1%. Oh, okay, so we can't even talk about money. That's why the conversation funny. How about that? See, why don't y'all start shooting back sometime? Y'all always the ones getting shot at. That's why I love when people challenge me. I love it. I practice on it. I go to YouTube and see who wants some. You know what I'm saying? Don't let me wake up in one of my moves. I go to YouTube and go to my comments and see who want a dose today. Why y'all letting people challenge you all the time? Why don't you shoot back? And let me ask you a question. What's the rate of return on your savings account? What are you getting? 2%. No, you're not getting 2%. You're getting less than inflation right now. And if you've been in there longer than 10 years, you're actually getting 0.02%, because it's the annual rate of return that matters, not what they tell you when they sold it to you. Now, my business, why are you asking? I'll probably get 1,000% rate of return. And I've only been doing the business for a year. So that's about 100% rate of return annually. See, quit letting people make you feel small when you just got started and you know more about economic empowerment than they ever dreamed of. Now that you know the power of infinite returns, don't you ever quit your business. But some of y'all won't even stick around long enough to see the return of your 228 from your tax savings this year. Y'all enjoyed the 5-part series? I hope you did. Thumbs up or a round of applause or a wave or whatever. Give it up, give it up, give it up. As we conclude, let me put this bad boy in a mode where I can hear from some people. Tell me which one was your favorite course and why.
Hey, B, I love all of them, but tonight was exciting because you've given us more ammunition to shoot back.
You like shooting back, Vonda? You down with the squad?
Yes, I'm down with the squad, B. Love it. Thank you so much.
Okay, good. All
Mr. Brian, this is Keisha Jordan.
Who's that?
Keisha Jordan.
Are you on camera, Keisha? Wave your hand if you are.
Yes, I am on camera.
Okay, go ahead and keep talking. I'm gonna find you. I see you.
Okay.
What you like? Which one you like so far and why?
Oh, tonight was good because you talked my language. I'm a 30-year retired Marine, so I'm all about shooting. I'm all about it.
You know what?
Out. But you know, I like it all, because don't just give me some. I want it all. This was a 5-course meal, but that last meal, I'm fat and happy. I'm going to sleep.
All right, Keisha, don't go out there and hurt nobody now. And thank you for your service.
And hi, this is Zona Inman, and I love to make that end of the year 28,000 for myself. Okay, I want them taxes back.
All right, Zona. So Zona, you down with at least minimum 28 grand.
That's right.
Well, guess what? We got August, September, October, November, December. Y'all got 5 months, man. You can go out there and make a 10,000% return on your money. Am I right?
Ready to go. I'm shooting back.
All right, good deal. What was your favorite course and why?
Brian, Richard Greer. Right here.
Okay, Richard.
Yeah. Favorite one was when Bert first Tim gave that printout and that layout of how to do your taxes on the form. He shared I think it was the second session that Bert Sim gave that good presentation on. Good
yes, yes, the #1 asset.
Yes.
Good, good. Why do you like the #1 asset so much? What stood out to you?
Well, what it did, it just helped me to share it easier with people. and it just gave me a sheet to follow that I can kind of lay out and explain it to people myself.
Good deal.
It was
Good deal.
doable.
All right.
Hi,
I'll
this
take
is
2
Anita
more.
Thomas. This is Anita Thomas, and this one tonight just blew me away. Watch out, my granddaughter. Here come your generational wealth.
Okay, I couldn't find you in time, but you on camera?
Kevin Thomas. Look under Kevin Thomas.
Oh, you're in the Kevin Thomas. Wave your hand for me. You out there somewhere. I'm gonna find you in a second. Oh, somebody showed me how to find people. I'm supposed to be able to find y'all just by putting your name in the chat, I think.
Here I am.
Here you go. Okay. Ms. Thomas, now say that again for me.
Generational wealth for my granddaughter. Here it comes.
All right, good deal. Now, which one did you like the most out of the 5?
Tonight.
Tonight. Okay, everybody like tonight. Okay. I'll say one more.
Brian, it's Christy.
Cash flow Christy, everybody, the first female $1 million ring earner in the entire company. What's up, Christy?
Hi, everybody. How y'all doing?
Talk to me.
Brian, I just want to say they absolutely, and I think I speak on behalf of everybody, the entire EDM movement, they were all phenomenal. I don't think people really understand the educational piece. Like, it's one thing for us to show you guys how to make money, but it's so much bigger than that. It's so much more to it, and understanding these wealth strategies, Brian, that nobody ever taught us this stuff in school. And, you know, like you were saying, people are having these conversations, but if you don't know this information, you can't teach the information. So I just want to say shout out to you for definitely educating all of us, training us. These last 5 days have been absolutely amazing. I've been taking notes. I've been doing watch parties, you know, as a student, because we want to be able to duplicate this information and teach the individuals that are coming onto our team. We want to be able to teach them this information as well. So hats off to you for doing such an amazing job, as always, for being such an amazing mentor, for being the first and only, y'all, national director in the entire company. We were ecstatic to hear from you, and we are looking forward to the next series. Thank you so much.
All right, you're welcome. You're welcome, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. We're going to celebrate like crazy for quite some time. Before we go, we're celebrating our ADs. Everybody, please come celebrate our ADs with us this coming Saturday at 7 o'clock. I need you to bring at least 10 sheets of white paper, and a black Sharpie to the Zoom. Please bring 10 sheets of white paper and a black Sharpie. If you are an AD and you got newly promoted within the past 30 days, we are celebrating the ADs this Saturday at our virtual party, but everybody's welcome, and the password will be issued on Saturday morning. This will be the site, and you'll get the password Saturday morning. I hope you guys enjoyed the series. I'm Brian Bean, Senior Magazines. On behalf of Don Wilson, Amber Johnson, Bert Sims, and Monty Montgomery, those are my 4 co-pilots this week. I really appreciate you guys. God bless, and I'll see you guys on Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Peace.
Good night, B.
Good night.
Good night.